Good morning, everyone. So today I figured I would go through some of the things that I do in a morning routine, and they definitely change every single day. Like the order of things that I do this in, or the specific products that I'm using, but I still make sure that I take time for myself and check in with my body. So I'm gonna go through the entire flow so you can get an idea of this. And so just to kind of give you an idea of when I typically do this, in the morning, I do a lot of work from my cellular device. So I relax with my first cup of coffee and I really just wake up to that. Thankfully, I am in a position where I've been working for myself for a long time. So I get to determine what my morning routine is like. And so yeah, that's what I do with my first cup of coffee. I just kind of wake myself up, and however long that takes, great. So then by the second cup of coffee, because yes, I've reduced myself down to 2 cups of coffee, very proud of myself. So by my second cup of coffee, I come in to this room and I pour myself the second cup of coffee and I take my morning vitamins, and those are set out directly next to my coffee pot, so there's no way to go and like skip them. I literally look at them while I'm pouring coffee, and that's one of the keys with all of the activities and protocols that you want to do is you want to lay them out, and it's called habit stacking. A great book is Atomic Habits if you're working on improving your habits. I love that book. But habit stacking is where you put a habit that you want to do next to one that is an existing habit. Coffee is an existing habit for me. So I already took my morning vitamins. I'm going to scoot on back so you can see me. So the next thing that I do is I go and I fill all of my diffusers, and diffuser is just how I can get some really good plant juice into the air. And so what that means is I literally put pure seed to seal essential oils into my diffuser and add water in there, and from that point it disperses into the air. So each breath that I take, it's actually supporting my body on a cellular level, and it's filling my entire home. So literally each breath I take, I'm supporting my body and raising my frequency, which we all know everything is energy, and frequency is just so good for your body. Each time that you can raise it, the more and more you can do that, the healthier you're gonna be. So let's start the diffuser. It's way over here in the corner, so I'm gonna grab whatever oils. Typically I literally just reach in here, grab an oil. So we've got sage. I usually sage, so I don't like to diffuse this one all the time because I'm gonna sage in just a second. So this one is One Heart. I think I have grapefruit over there by the diffuser. Let's see what else. Typically I grab 3 oils, just preference. Let's see what else. Oh, picked up sage again. Interesting. Need to sage today. And clarity. I love clarity. So One Heart, clarity, and grapefruit. Now, when you have diffusers, you're gonna wanna make sure that you go ahead and make sure they're BPA free. And this is because seed to seal essential oils, they are so powerful that if you don't have BPA free diffusers, you're actually going to break down the plastic, and then your diffuser's not gonna work because your seed to seal essential oils are so powerful. And let's do 2 drops of One Heart. It's a little thicker blend. And then we'll do 3 drops of grapefruit. Yummy, yummy. If you guys are watching, you guys have a diffuser going, tell me in the comments what's in your diffuser. So now I like to reuse my Ninja Red bottles, and that just makes it easy for me, right? I can go ahead and just pour this water into here, and I keep this right next to it so I don't have any excuse not to start my diffuser and support my body. So I'm gonna leave this on, press the on button. There we go. Perfect. So now it's going and doing all of this amazingness for me. Okay, so then I typically sit down, I get into a really comfy position. I always make sure to have some type of water with me. Today I have my San Pellegrino, and I just put on lotion, so this is going to be fun to open. Let's see if I can do this with my, there we go. Gotta get creative, pivot, right? I always like to have water like guys, we have to be drinking water all the time. I will tell you that soda water is not the same as mineral water. Sparkling water is not the same as mineral water. Mineral water is hydrating. It's super good for you. You're getting extra minerals. But majority of these sparkling waters, the soda waters that are out on the shelf, they're actually packed with toxins and dehydrating. So make sure you're drinking water. Okay, so now I'm gonna reach into my bag. I have a little roller bottle that has some crystals in it, and I just keep this one filled with my favorite oils. So I'm putting it on my wrist, on my heart. Gonna rub it in. Just start settling into myself, really feeling my body. Usually this is done early in the morning, so here we are really feeling where I am, what my muscles are doing, waking up. Go ahead and rub it into all of my muscles, bringing myself back down. While I was sleeping, I was doing so many things, healing the body. So I gotta bring myself back down. So when I'm sitting, I'm actually making sure that my hip bones are touching the ground. So if you don't feel those, go ahead and wobble back and forth until you do. And then just go ahead and really feel yourself grounding. And I'm gonna start my sage. I love sage and Palo Santo. They are amazing, supportive, cleansing things to burn. And so I'm just gonna start noticing my breath. Typically I breathe in through the nose and out through my mouth. And so I just start to really get that practice going in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you're noticing, I'm holding my sage upside down, and this is because it's a tightly woven bundle of sage. So I'm just trying to make sure I light it evenly. Once I get that lit, I'm still breathing, checking in on my body. I just go ahead and, go around myself. Do-do-do. By this point, my breath is typically picking up a lot more, and I can really feel it going. I always like to have a little ashtray. This is because I sage all the time. This way I can just lay it down and I'm not worried about burning my mats that I'm sitting on, and all the ash is falling down into that. So I'm gonna apply my oils again. So every time you use Seed to Seal oils, as soon as you open that bottle and you smell it, it actually hits your brain, your limbic portion of your brain, before light and sound. So this goes through the olfactory in your brain from your nose, and it's the first sensation that your brain is like, oh, we need to activate emotions, we need to activate memory, we need to activate a few things, and then the light and the sound and other things start coming into play. So that's how your senses work. Your sense of smell is super important. So I just put a bunch of this blend that I have in my hand, and I put it in my non-dominant hand, and I'm rotating clockwise with my dominant hand here, and I'm just activating these oils, building some heat in between my hands, and I'm gonna do this and breathe until I feel heat in my hands, right? By this point, I'm making sure my spine is in alignment, so I'm not hunched over, my shoulders are down and back. I'm really feeling my sits bones. I feel my ears on top of my shoulders, so I'm not in that cell phone position that all of us are getting. It's really pulling myself back into alignment. My rib cage is in. I'm holding my abs. I'm feeling my feet in the ground, even though they're sideways, and just building this heat. So the really cool thing about the nervous system is you have a lot of ends of your nervous system in your hands and your feet. So when you rub them together and then you separate them, they still kind of vibrate, those cells. We have billions of cells in our body. They all talk to each other, they all work with each other. So back to what I was saying before I get into nervous system, as soon as the oils hit my hand, within 20 seconds, they're gonna go through my blood-brain barrier, big word, go through my blood-brain barrier, and from that point, they're actually going into my blood and filtering through my entire body, right? So I'm filtering through my entire body every 20 seconds, which is super duper cool. Or 20 minutes, every 20 minutes my blood filters. So that means it's filtering through the liver, it's filtering through the thyroid, it's filtering through all of these different vital organs, and our body is cleaning that blood and sending the nutrients to the places that it needs. So for example, I've got some really supportive heart oils in this blend right now because I am working on reminding myself to come from a place of love and not for love when I'm working with my people, when I'm going out into the world. And so I put extra heart oils on that, but you see that I just put it on my hand, so it's working its way through my body all to my heart and then filtering also everywhere. And it's just a really cool way that the body is getting support, and it's been using plants for this support for generations, so your DNA already knows how to utilize it. And this is unlike a synthetic, where synthetics, the body doesn't know how to utilize it. So it gets thrown to different organs until something's like, oh, maybe we can utilize it here. But by that point, it depends on what it is. There's a bunch of science that you can go into there, but typically synthetics don't do a lot of good to the body. So that's why you want the real stuff, right? Okay. So now I've got my hands warm and I really feel the vibration in my ends of my nervous system, in my fingertips, right, when I separate, because I've been circling, building heat. So I go ahead and just make sure I feel that. Then I go ahead and put my hands, palms facing up on my knees. I shut my eyes and my breath just continues to deepen. So you want to make sure that you're breathing all the way in through the nose, down through the throat, down through the heart, down through the chest, and really feel your stomach go out. And then push everything out through the tummy, up through the chest, up and out through the mouth. And then we go in through the nose and down all the way to the belly. So your belly should be going in and out and in and out for each time you are breathing. And again, you have these oils on your hands, you have them on your heart, so they're working on the body on a cellular level. You have your diffuser going, so you're getting support on a brain level. Oh my goodness, so many goodies. So from this point, I go ahead and I'm going to check in on my chakra system. And this is so critical for me because I can tell a huge difference when I don't check in on my body and versus when I do check in on my body. So this is the protocol that I go through. And I usually start from the crown chakra. So I go ahead and imagine that I'm sitting in a white light. And from the top of my head, I am imagining my top crown chakra, which is like way up here. I imagine that it is spinning with love, and I see it spinning, and I visualize that, and I visualize myself just sitting in love. And then I move down to my head, and I'm checking in on my head, making sure my third eye is spinning correctly, and I really feel connected between my crown and my third eye. Breathing throughout all of this. Then I'm moving down to my throat. From here, I'm moving down into my heart. Into my solar plexus. Into my sacral, into my root, Then I ground myself down and really feeling all of these chakras in alignment. And just like I went up above my crown chakra, I come all the way back down, go a little bit below my root chakra. Typically, I think 3 to 6 feet down into this beautiful earth. I'm breathing deeply. I'm actually going through this a lot faster. I would probably slow this down 4 times and really sit and do about 10 to 20 breaths in each chakra. From here, I reverse that process. So I go ahead and I feel love from this earth. I feel love from the ground. And I bring myself back to my root chakra. Just focus myself right there. Bringing it up to my sacral chakra. Just filling my body with love. Being so grateful that it does so many things for me that I don't have to think about. It just naturally does that. Bringing myself up to my sacral chakra, solar plexus, there we go. Up to my heart chakra. Up to my throat chakra. Up to my third eye. To my crown. All the way back up, 3 to 6 feet above that. From here, I just imagine that there's a beautiful flow going from the north all the way down to the south, and from the south all the way down or up to the north. And I'm just sitting in this beautiful space, really thanking my body, being so grateful for each and every cell doing its job. Remember, we're just plants with some emotions. We've got to thank our body. We've got to talk nicely to our body. Our words matter so much. So from this point, I sit there and I just breathe. I focus on that breath. So let's sit here and breathe deeply. I'm going to be quiet for just a few moments. I'm gonna head and light my sage again. Really feeling my brain wake up with all of that extra oxygen that is in my brain, right? next thing that I typically do is I look at forgiving myself. And this is something that I've recently started adding to my morning practice because one of my coaches has said I'm holding on to things. So I know I'm not the only one. And so what I've been doing is actually just forgiving myself for anything that I'm holding on to, forgiving myself for any expectations that I've put on other people, forgiving myself for anything that isn't going the way that I thought it was, forgiving myself for just being in a state of frustration, of anger, any emotion that you typically hold on to. That's where it's really good to know your Enneagram, because if you're holding on to a specific emotion, your Enneagram will tell you what the typical emotion is that you're holding on to. And so mine is frustration and anger. I'm an Enneagram 1. Woo woo! Where are all my Enneagram 1 people at? I would love for you to tell me what your Enneagram is in the comment. But frustration is mine, and I hold a lot of frustration and myself at a very, very high standard, because the name for an Enneagram 1 is a perfectionist, which cracks me up because it's just one of those things where I've always told myself that it's got to be perfect. And so as soon as we figured out that was what my characteristic was, what my personality typically went to, I've been able to really look at that and hold myself in a place of love when I'm putting too much expectation on myself or the people around me. And so I forgive myself for all of that. I forgive myself for anything else that I need to let go of from yesterday, weeks before, from anything in my DNA loops. We know epigenetics says that we hold on generational trauma, so I forgive myself for all of that DNA, and I release myself back into my present state. And then I apply my oils again. And I'm breathing. Breath is such an important part of this practice. We're going to just repeat what we did: deep breathing, rotating, building heat. Notice I have my hand directly in front of my face, so when I'm inhaling, all those oils are going directly into my brain, right? Checking in to make sure my shoulders are still in position, my rib cage is still connected, my abs are being held, holding me in alignment. I feel my ears directly over my shoulders. I'm just feeling the connection that we just worked on from the sky all the way to the ground and back up to the sky, and it's just going ebb and flowing up and down throughout me. Then from here, I usually end on lion's breath, and lion's breath is one of my favorite things to do because it just makes me laugh. And so this is where you literally breathe in through your nose and then you breathe out through your mouth, and you exhale really loud. You stick your tongue out. This is in my Feelings Kit online course, and my Emotional Detox in a Box online course. I highly recommend that you guys check that out. It really is looking at where your emotions are stuck and where you can release them. But this lion breath does wonders for the body, and it makes you laugh. So cupping my nose to breathe in, and then I place them down and exhale myself out. In through the nose. Right? In through the nose. 3 more. In through the nose. In through the nose. Last one. I'm going to bring myself back to normal breathing. Roll your shoulder down and to the right, or roll your head out, down to the right, to the back, to the left, to the center, to the left, to the back, to the right and center, to the right, back, left, center, right, back, left, center, right, back, left, center. Now I really start to involve my chest in here, so I'm getting a full upper body stretch, rotation, Waking myself up a little bit. Left, back, right, center, right, back, left, center. Then I start to involve the rest of my spine, and I'm just rotating right, back, left, center, left, back, right, center, right, back, left, center, left, back, right, center. Then I do some cat-cows in a sitting position, really just activating that spine, really loving on your nervous system. Your nervous system comes from your spine. This is why it's so important to exercise and go and see a chiropractor, get adjusted, bending right, bending left, bending right, bending left, arms up to the sky. Lace those fingertips together, press them up, 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 bend over to the right. Press, 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 over to the left. Press, press, press. This is where you're gonna go ahead and start stretching. It's just what naturally feels good. Every day is different. So right now, my legs are starting to fall asleep. So I'm just gonna shake them out and spill coffee on myself. It's all good. All good. While I'm shaking out these legs, applying more oils. If you've noticed, it's a lot of oils that I'm applying. That's normal. I typically apply so regularly, and throughout my day, I'm applying at least every hour. Okay, so flex those feet up, up, up. Put your arms up. Go ahead and bend over those legs. Straight back as long as possible. Grab those feet. Keep your back straight. Really feeling your hips working, and then relax over. Bring yourself up. Feel your sits bones again. Rock side to side and up and over. Then we're going to take this right leg, bend it over the front leg, press that knee down, press that chest up, and then reach yourself over. If this is too much for you, you're going to put that foot next to your knee on the ground and just bend as far forward as you can. Bring yourself up, right leg straight, left leg up, and over. And up, and butterfly. Bring those feet together. Wobble side to side. Again, just feeling those hip bones, super important. Butterfly it out. Make your way to your hands and your knees. And this is really just where I just feel into what is sore that day. It's different depending on what muscles I worked the day before, if I went hiking, if I went to the gym, if I did a yoga practice, if I went running, if I went surfing, all of the activities, right? Really feeling where my body's at. So right now my wrists, teaching a lot of yoga right now, so my wrists are sore, and so I'm going to focus on those. So I come in and take my hands up, flip them down, and so my palms are facing away from me, and I'm stretching out the backs of my wrists. Oh, this one's my favorite. So from this point, I'm making sure that I have pressure down in my hips, so I'm not messing up my back. I really feel it down in my hips as well as my wrist, okay? Stretching it out, and you're pressing down into your fingertips. They should be flat on the ground, and if that's not possible, go ahead and bring them up and flatten them out, bring them back down. Good job, guys. Good job. Okay, now I bring them up, flip them up, flip, and I'm now on top of my wrist. I'm pressing down, just stretching them out. I've also been typing a lot on my computer, so that's why my wrists are super important to just give some extra love on. So I'm gonna take my right hand, I'm gonna take my left hand and grab my wrist. Let's come closer so you guys can see this. So doop, 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 there we go. And take my left hand's grabbing my hands, and I'm just pressing out. Press, press, press. Just making sure that those hands are really getting some support. And then other side. Grab, press, press, press. Roly, roly. And then another place that I like to rub out is right here. This is such a tender spot in the hands, and a lot of people hold stress. So I go ahead, let's see, how do I show you this? I go and take my thumb right on it, and I squeeze this side, and I just rub into it. Rub-a-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub-dub. And just really, again, breathing this whole time. I'm working on breath work. It's super amazing. And that's really why I brought up my Emotional Detox in a Box course, because it's a 4-week course, and each week you get new breath work, and I teach you how to do it, and then I have a video that you follow along with. And that's also in my Life Dream Today course, which is a 12-month course. Both of these have breath work in them because it has been life-changing for me. And it's so important for your body. So if you guys are really feeling this, it's a good thing. Keep rubbing it out. Keep rubbing. And I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. This side, just back and forth. There you go. Switch sides. Whew. Feeling good. It's nice to give yourself some love, right? Okay, there you go. Morning routine, that's what I typically do. I really know that this is going to be a game changer for you, and I highly recommend that you start to just take the time for yourself. You can do this in 5 minutes. You can pick one thing that you're going to start doing and do it in 5 minutes. You can break it out and have it 30 minutes long. You can have it an hour long. Some days when I just do not feel like myself, I allot almost 2 hours and I am on that mat. I'm going through this, and I'm just getting into my body. Anytime that I wake up and my mind is just scattered, I know the first thing that I need to do is actually move. It's not jumping into the work, because that's just going to stress my body. There we go. I think we lost connection, but we're back. So with that said, I look at it, what is my non-negotiable? What am I going to do that is a non-negotiable for taking care of myself with my morning routine? And that is making sure that I'm doing breath work, making sure that I'm applying oils, and I'm starting my diffuser. That is my bare minimum. And water. And supplements. So there's 5 things. But I've added on to these things. It's not like I started with all of that. I started with applying oils, and I did that for years. I did it for years, every single day, multiple times a day. Started with once a day, and then moved my way up to all day, every day. Then I started with the diffuser. Then I started with all of these other things. So like I was talking about in the beginning, that habit stacking is so important, because once you do one, then you can do more. And I'm going to be starting a challenge this coming Monday, and I'd love for everyone to join me. And if you are missing it, go ahead and try this yourself at home. Grab a group of friends. So this is going to be a 100-day challenge. That's right, and you can do it. I promise you. So what does this mean? You pick one thing that you're gonna do consistently for 100 days. This could be something as simple as saying a morning mantra. I am happier, healthier, wealthier, and more fit than I was yesterday. You can say that to yourself for 100 days. This could be you drink a glass of water before your coffee in the morning for 100 days. This could be you do breath work for 100 days. You could do a yoga practice. You exercise for 100 days. You speak nicely to one person for 100 days. You so many different options. You apply oils, you start your diffuser. There's days and days and days that we can do this, but I want you to pick one thing, not a lot of things, just one thing that we're going to connect with. And so I'm going to be starting Monday. If you want to join me, I would love to have you. And I'm going to have some raffles going on and some amazing prizes, and just we're going to get into a group together and we're going to talk about it. We're going to hold ourselves accountable, and we're going to make sure that we are checking in with each other. So this is a free challenge that I'm going to be doing for 100 days starting on Monday, and can't wait to see you there. Shoot me a message if you want to join.